Those things that we already do.
All right, we're live, everyone. All right, let's call this meeting to order of May 10th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a clerk, a special appointed clerk today. Ben is going to be doing this as our normal city clerk is on vacation today. Savannah, city clerk, would you please take the roll?
Councilmember James Blair.
Here.
Councilmember Joseph Richardson.
Here.
Councilmember Joshua Crossman.
Here.
Councilmember Holly Smith. Here. Councilmember Brian Hess.
Here.
Councilmember Lynn Roy. Here. Councilmember Terry Kaminsky. Here. And Mayor Joe DePinto.
Here. Thank you. All right, item number 2, agenda approval. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I move that we approve the agenda.
Second by Councilmember Roy. So motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, and today we have a special presentation, something that we have every year by Mr. Duncan Green from Inner City Transit. And there's a gentleman right there. And would you like to say a few words before I do the proclamation, or would you like to go ahead and chat afterwards?
Either way works for me. I can say my piece and then let you do the proclamation. That works for you.
Why don't you go ahead and say your piece?
Okay, so yeah, just for the record, my name's Duncan Green, and I'm here representing Inner City Transit and the Thurston County Bicycle Community Challenge. And I just wanted to say thank you to Mayor DePinto and the council for proclaiming May as Bicycle Month in the city of Lacey. So the biggest news from here for this year is that the BCC is now the Bicycle Community Challenge, and all rides now count. And I'm here to explain. We're now in our 35th consecutive year at the Bicycle Community Challenge, and it's the longest running bike challenge in our region. For 3.5 decades, the BCC has been encouraging people in our community to use a bicycle for some of their transportation needs instead of driving. But many things have changed in that time. Our local bicycling infrastructure has improved vastly, and the number of people riding bicycles for all reasons has been rising as well. The pandemic has brought public health into focus, and bicycling can be an important contributor to public health. Building strong communities is also increasingly important with the many challenges that face us at the local level these days. And also the way bicycle advocates think about promoting bicycling has also evolved. And these are some of the reasons that we believe that the more people that ride bikes in our community, the better it is for everyone, no matter what their reason is for riding. And we hope that recreational riding can open the door for some people to try riding for transportation too. Bicycling for health and fun is beneficial to individual and community health and well-being, and we need those benefits now more than ever. This year's theme for the BCC is in keeping with the sort of health theme. It's take your vitamin bike to bring health to the forefront, along with other benefits of riding a bike. Community support for the BCC is still strong. Over 100 people turned out for our Earth Day market ride in April. And currently over 470 riders have logged over 16,000 miles just so far in the first 10 days of this year's BCC. Most of our sponsors are back on board, along with a few new ones. So we have lots of great prizes, and the BCC coupons are back as well. We have an amazing grand prize, which is a dream bike vacation with Adventure Cycling Association. So take your vitamin bike and ride in the Bicycle Community Challenge in May to celebrate our 35th year of promoting bicycling in Thurston County. It's easy to participate as an individual or a member of a team. Just go to the bcc.innercitytransit.com to sign up or log into your existing account. Feel free to reach out to me at any time if you have any questions. My email is dgreen@intercitytransit.com. And I'm happy to also answer any questions that the council may have as well. So thanks so much.
Duncan, is there any questions for him? Council, Councilmember Blair.
Oh, this is Yelm, right?
I think you made a mistake saying Lacey, but I'm sure it's Yelm.
Oh, gosh. I was so caught up in my presentation that I missed that.
We need to have you bike out here so you make sure it's Yelm.
That's
Next
right.
year. All right.
I did. 1 year I did ride out there.
All righty, I'm gonna go ahead and read the actual proclamation. City of Yelm proclamation, Bike Month. Whereas bicycling makes people healthier, more productive, prevents chronic diseases like physical activity and sports, physical, emotional, and mental well-being. And whereas biking commuting reduces energy consumption, pollution, and congestion. And whereas the nonprofit Bicycling Safety Education Association, the League of American Bicyclists, had declared the month of May to be National Bike Month for each of the last 65 years, and has done so again in 2022. And whereas the city of Yelm has completed 2 commercial collector roadway projects that includes bike lanes, a 3rd roadway project that includes bike lanes that connect to Yelm Middle School. And whereas the city of Yelm encourages and supports both walking, bike traffic through our development standards. And whereas intercity transit with sponsors, including many area businesses and organizations, is hosting the 35th annual Bicycle Community Challenge during the month of May 2022. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this Yelm City Council hereby recognizes May as Bicycle Month in the city of Yelm and strongly encourages all citizens to put forth their best effort to reduce single occupant motor vehicle trips, to reduce air pollution, energy consumption, and improve the general health and well-being of the community. Signed, the city of Yelm, Washington, this 10th day of May, 2022. Thank you, Duncan, so much for being with us virtually, and we'll hope to see you bicycle your way out here next year.
That's my hope too. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. All righty, moving on to public comment. Do we have anyone that wishes to publicly comment for that? We do not. All right. Well, we will move on to the consent agenda, which also includes another proclamation, proclamation on top of proclamations. So is there, and I'll read that after the consent agenda is passed. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Moved by Councilmember Royce, seconded by Councilmember Kaminsky. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion passes. All right, we have a consent agenda. Now, for another proclamation, which is also a little more near and dear to my heart due to my Korean heritage. And I like to say that City of Yelm has a proclamation where Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. We'll do a co-month, I suppose, with the bicyclists. Whereas Asian Americans and Pacific Islander Heritage Month is observed during the month of May to recognize the contributions and influence of AAPI persons as part of the whole history, culture, and achievements of the United States. And whereas AAPI heritage in the United States was celebrated at least as early as 1978, it was made into a month-long event in 1992. And whereas during AAPI Heritage Month, we acknowledge AAPI persons have lived and worked in the United States for more than 200 years and have made significant contributions to all facets of the United States, such as economy, culture, education, politics, arts, law enforcement, military, literature, science, technological developments, despite institutional and systemic injustices designed to silence and cover up these achievements and contributions. And whereas during AAPI Heritage Month, we acknowledge that additional determination, hard work, and perseverance AAPI persons must put forth to be heard and seen, and that these additional efforts are a result of inequitable institutional and systemic injustices. And whereas we celebrate the achievements and contributions of AAPI persons that enrich our history, society, and culture, we must also acknowledge a darker aspect of AAPI experience in America, which include painful stereotypes, structural discriminations, injustice, and periods of hate and violence. These actions come at the cost of mental health of the AAPI community and distorts the larger community's ability to recognize the humanity in us all. And whereas diversity represents one of our greatest strengths, and by recognizing the contributions and accomplishments of AAPI persons, our city will put our values of inclusion into practice to build a brighter future for all residents. And whereas Yelm is proud to celebrate AAPI Heritage Month and commemorate the essential contributions, sacrifices, and accomplishments to AAPI. And now, therefore, it be resolved, the Yelm City Council hereby recognizes May as Asian Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month in the city of Yelm, signed in the city of Yelm, Washington, this 10th day of May, 2022. Councilmember Blair.
Who's writing these?
They're usually modeled after the state of Washington's
Okay.
resolutions.
I'm
We could, change up.
definitely not on board with anything talking about some systemic challenges to people, especially here. I don't know about you guys, but there is nothing stopping anyone from becoming whatever they want to do here in this town regarding their skin color, nationality, or anything like that. And maybe I'm the outlier of this council, but a lot of these proclamations, what are we actually doing for any of it? Or is it just another virtue signal?
Was proclaiming it, but it's well noted with the political, this one was a little more political than some of the last ones. I do try to, if it is more political than it, in my opinion, it should be, I try to steer away from those. We can also do mayoral proclamations as well, where I'll just do a proclamation for myself and leave the council out of, if the council so chooses to do that too.
I don't think we should sign on to basically agreeing that anyone has any barriers due to their skin color or hair or nationality. Sorry. There's no one in this town is gonna be stopped from pursuing whatever they want to do in their life because of the color of their skin or where they were born or any of that. And I'm about tired of hearing it.
Sure, I'm not trying to make this into a bigger political issue, but I mean, I think it is important to recognize that there has been,
In the past, absolutely.
and that's what a lot of that says, is in the past it has happened. And it says, we're celebrating achievements, acknowledging that they have overcome some of these obstacles and hardships during, especially the earlier years of this country too.
Okay.
But I will try to, in the future, look for, if I feel that the state of Washington's being a little more political and necessary, especially in regards to proclamations that shouldn't have to be, we're celebrating these folks, the different, whatever the proclamation is for the month. I'll try to make it as non-political as I can to celebrate that, that group instead.
I mean, I think this country has its scarred past, but today, no.
Oh, I think that's hope for debate. But anyway, Councilmember Roy.
I just really would like to make it clear that it is not the thought of the entire council that there is not systemic racism in place. I am quite sorry.
That's fine. I'm just,
That's not a.
Thank you, Councilmember Roy. Any other comments on the proclamation before we move on? Richardson,
So that's going to be shared with the bicycle month.
it's a co-month this month, yes.
Does that mean because I'm Pacific Islander, I need to ride a bike and wear spandex?
Yeah,
That's exactly what that means, yes.
I just want to know is, are you practicing for the auction house?
No, I'm just trying to move it along as quickly as I could. Speed it up, but thank you. I do try to go as fast as I can. Any other comments, questions on the proclamation? All right, moving on. New business, we don't have any scheduled. Old business, we don't have anything scheduled. Department heads updates.
Got a couple.
Come on down.
Just a couple today. Mayor, council, good evening. Let's see, what do we got going on? We got a few positions in the city that we're hiring for. Police officers, of course. We have 2 that will graduate the academy May 25th at 11 a.m. at the training academy in Berea. They'll then enter training through this summer, but be on the road probably by September 1 timeframe. We're still looking for some seasonal park employees. We're looking for a civil review engineer position as well. So that's our positions. And then the paving, we are paving the patchwork. McDonald's was the first location. So I didn't see it today. I know they were there yesterday. Did you go by?
Yeah, I didn't want to drive.
Okay, you may go by McDonald's this afternoon. Was it better? It wasn't done yet?
No, it's fine.
Did they pave over it?
It's paved.
Okay,
Did a good job or not?
job.
It's finished.
It's not the McQueen one that's been there, but it is a job. Yes.
That means it's paid. It could be better.
All right, I'll take a look at
That's
it.
what he means. I
I'll
think.
take a look at it.
Mossman Avenue project is, should be completed by the end of this month. Everything's on schedule there. That'll be a fantastic addition. Fitness pad still on target to be done by May 28th in conjunction with the opening of the spray park. So
Splash pad.
Spray park. Splash
Splash pad is.
Sounds like a feral cat or something.
We are having a water park opening up here next year.
anybody have any questions for me? Anything I reported on or any other matter?
I just want to follow up in reference to, if I remember correct, was today the beginning of when the cameras and all are starting?
Next week, we start
Next week.
implementation.
Okay. I apologize. I thought it was this week.
Yep, next week is the big rollout implementation training that will go on. So I would say the first part of June, we'll give you an update on how all that transition is rolling out. Yes. Anything else for me?
Thank you, City Administrator Stansel. Do we have any other staff reports? Stephanie, do you have anything?
No.
Thank you. All right, let's go into council member reports. Council member Blair.
I'm not the chair.
Sitting in a chair.
I don't think anyone said you were the chair.
Well, I was in finance committee. Everything looks great, but I'm not the chair, so I'm gonna let the chair actually go into detail.
Fair enough.
Well, yeah, is that my turn now?
Councilmember Richardson.
I will say that Blair got here before anybody else that's on the committee besides Stephanie, but yeah, that was a good job on that. You know, it's all new, it's all Greek to me, but I trust Stephanie. And she gave us some insight on some things, and it looks like we're on track, you know, as far as revenue goes. So we're been good for the first quarter, And so all those people, you know, right, we gotta pay attention. Already passed. Anyways, yeah, also I had attended a Young Life meeting. It was it Rainier and Yelm combined? That was pretty good. Also, we had Chamber Forum today. Fantastic. It was TRPC that presented. Mark Daly. That was interesting. And our representative that actually attends those meetings is Brian Hess. That's remarkable there. And I think this Saturday is the Senior Center breakfast that I will be attending. It's the second Saturday every month. If you guys are looking for something, you know, it's like I don't know what it is. It's like, it's under $8. You know, support the Senior Center and have some food with them. Can't think of anything else.
Is that it?
That's it.
Thank you, thank you. Councilmember Crossman.
This is a question / request of Cody Cole. Running the street sweeper around town. What's that entail? Can we get that running? There's a lot of streets that need sweeping.
Streets in the street, yeah. So our current street sweepers, it works, but it's damaged slightly. We're waiting for our new one to come in. But yes, we will be running around town as the weather gets a little bit better. It's good to have a little rain, but not too much rain, because the sweeper just sucks up all the water. So you want a little bit of wetness, but not too much water. So, but we're waiting for that kind of moment where we're getting a little damp and not super hot and dry and all that. So yes, the street sweeper will be running, to answer your question. It's not as much as it had been in the past.
When did you get here?
When did the new one get done?
Look at this, I asked.
Yeah, so the new street sweeper, you'll be pleased to know that we're ordering and building it out right now, and it'll hopefully be here beginning of next year. So that was a long ways away, but that's how long the order banks for vehicles are right now, if you've tried to get a vehicle from anywhere in the entire world. So yes, so hopefully early next year.
Would you recommend for the community members that have a storm drain in front of their house or something, that they at least, if they know heavy rains are coming, that they verify that it is clear of debris and kind of take a little, not too much responsibility, but a little bit?
That's a great recommendation, Councilmember Hess. I concur with your recommendation. Yes, check your storm. Never any problem with checking your storm drains. You know, looking for clutter. If you see something in the street, pick it up. We are very active, and we want people to be active too about helping keep our streets clean. So, good call.
Thank you, Cody. Anything else, Councilmember Crossman? Councilmember Smith?
I attended the public safety, which it's hard to say, Administrator Stansel was also in there and shared a lot of this stuff. But I did want to remind everybody about the spring executive seminar for the emergency management on June 6th. You should have got an email, and then you should have got the email to order your Maconis, which apparently is one of the. If you didn't, Maconis, yeah.
Sandwich Company.
Sandwich, yeah.
Sandwich shop.
TCOM was canceled this month, and then I have Fire Authority tomorrow. That's it.
Councilmember Hess?
Let's see, intercity transit, they have been putting out a survey. It's not to everybody, it's random. It's for a study to figure out the transportation going on. So council members and mayor, if you happen to receive one, please, it's not just for one person, it's for the family. So have everybody go there, whether you're walking, riding a bike, taking public transportation, or driving. They're trying to find out what's going on. And the same thing, if we can encourage the community members, if they happen to get that, to please participate, because that helps with funding in the future from being able to apply for grants and things like that. Also with the intercity transit, they are updating their, this is the bus barn maintenance bar area. It's looking really good. They're on target for that. And they have a few projects going on in the Lacey, Olympia area for research that will hopefully help bring in new equipment to help with all of the county in reference to streetlights and helping manage traffic as it's going through, as well as if they, some of the discussions are when smart vehicles start coming in line as well. So it'll be very interesting to see how that goes. In reference to the Regional Housing Council had day one of the retreat on Friday. It was a really good opportunity to meet the other members from Lacey, Olympia, Tumwater, as well as the county. We had some really good discussions. The priority that we're looking at was what is kind of the cause, what are we looking at, so that next, this coming Friday, we're going to start looking at how to develop policies, how to work with things on reference to homelessness as well as housing. And one interesting statistic that came out, well, there's a few of them, but something that's stuck in my mind and has really, it's powerful. It's within Thurston County, 30% of our population, Yelm even falls within that. It's approximately 30% of the population is stressed financially, where they are spending over 30%. Some of them are up to almost 50% of their paycheck just for a house, just to put a roof over their head. So the adage of you're one paycheck away, which now is one emergency away, that's where we're at for Thurston County alone. So, but we don't do anything to really address that 30%. We actually address 1%, which is the homeless population. And so that's one of the things that we're going to really be discussing right now coming up, because that 30%, as you know, with what's going on, if inflation goes up too much, cost of living, a variety of other things go too much, we may see a homeless population all of a sudden explode just for what's happening and with no control of their own. So that was that was an interesting thing. And as I said, we're going to start talking about what we can do and and things like that. So I'll hopefully have a good report next council meeting on that. Then have a question to ask, and it's in reference to a committee, a subcommittee, the general government subcommittee. Is it correct, Tom? Or was the general? It was.
You're asking me?
Well, I'm asking Blair. That was the term of it, right?
I was on it.
What happened to that subcommittee? Because
Councilmember
I
Blair.
wanted to make sure I had the right name, that I had the right name for it. The reason why is they're a little lost on how we go about putting things on the agenda, how we go about bringing things forward. And because that subcommittee is not there, what's the process going to be now to do that?
Yeah, so we haven't used that committee since late last year, and especially since I took office. But it's more of a, I found it personally to be one that didn't really, I felt it's more red tape the committees we have now, if you want to bring something to council, just bring it through that council. Whereas before, it was kind of a roadblock where it would have to go through general government committee, then to the specialized committee, and then to this whole council. This way, if you want to bring something to the council, you could bring it up to me if you want to put it on the agenda as the executive branch, or you could just go through the normal channel, which is more preferred, is to go through your committee. And if the committee agrees that it should be something the council should see or should vote on or act upon, then we would act upon it either at a study session or at a city council meeting.
Okay, so then I have a follow-up question in reference to that process. How do we go about if community members approach and want to see about some kind of activity? Month of May is Military Appreciation Month. Along with Military Appreciation Month, we have Memorial Day. There was nothing on the calendar for the city of Yelm. And so doing research, trying to gather information to propose to the council of possibly doing something, see if there would be interest in doing it and knowing what resources come under conflict. And so I'm trying to figure out, because for the month of June, there's activities as well that are coming up, and how do we go about doing that? And so,
Sure. So I think
what's the process
sure.
that we're to follow when gathering information to propose to find out if city resources are going to be required, or whether it's just going to be people gathering somewhere to do the event?
So yeah, part of that's just being the mayor is, so what this stems from a private conversation that we were having. And also that I was reached out to by an organization, and basically if it's a city function, a lot of the city functions are under the auspices of the mayor's office, under the executive branch. Policy wise, if you want to bring a policy towards something, if you want to bring proclamations, whatever to that effect, it's all in the council handbook. If you want to do something to that and within your powers, you're more than welcome to. As far as like directing staff, as far as creating events, even with that, working with other entities, whether it be another city, as the head of this city, that's my function, is to work with those other groups. As far as Memorial Day, that's a function or an event that happens every year. The city of Yelm works with the VFW and the American Legion, who operated out of the Yelm Cemetery, and that's where we have our official city of Yelm. That's where it's connected at. But as far as council creating their own events on behalf of the city, if you want to create an event, I'd advise to work with the executive branch. But if you don't want to go ahead and go down that route, you're more than welcome to go through a committee. If the committee thinks it's a appropriate event for whatever that committee is, then taking up that channel as
What
well.
would be the appropriate committee to go to for like Juneteenth? This year is the first year that it is an official federal holiday. There are some community members that have asked if something is going to be done or what can be done, and have a few organizations that have proposed some things that I would like to invite June 7th to propose what can be done, but which committee do we go through?
So that would be under study session initiatives, like a council member initiative. If you have initiatives such as that, to create an event or to create whatever, that's also another avenue you have that we can talk about publicly. You can get other council support on it as well.
Then that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember S. Councilmember Roy.
So I signed up and am taking the AWC elected officials essentials class. It was, I don't know, it showed up in my email, so that's where it is. But if you haven't seen it, it should be in your emails as well. It's been pretty informative. We do have the fitness court ribbon cutting on May 28th at 10 a.m. I would love for you to mark that on your calendars. We have some special guests that will be in attendance, and that'll be a lot of fun. And then of course, parade registration is open, and 1924 Business Day is scheduled for June 21st.
Thank you, Councilmember Roy. Councilmember Kaminsky.
Okay, back to the financial meeting that we had that the gentleman talked about. Our ARPA funds and our second quarter balance, everything is all in order, which is great. And we're on target with our general funds, expenses and revenues, totally balanced. So that's good. And then Stephanie shared with us, there's going to be a new outside agency funding process where some of the current nonprofits that the city gives money to will have a formal process where we'll all be able to see and know exactly who's getting what kind of money. So that's something new on the docket. And speaking of nonprofits, I attended, well, I'm on the board for Bounty for Families. And this was a group basically based on food sustainability. We've got the farmers market and the community garden, which will be opening soon. And then recently they were asked to be a fiscal flow through funding source for the Learners Without Limits through the high school. And that program's going amazing. And then we were also asked to financially sponsor or be a pass through for this group, the Day of Champions. And this is kind of a small scale Special Olympics for local kids. I don't have any details, but it looks like we're going to be doing that. I attended the chamber lunch today, which was excellent. And I have a little show and tell because I always have to have a little entertainment in my presentation. So this is regarding, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the consistency of architecture in our planning. And I will be sure to put these on London's decks, but just for fun only, I thought I'd show you these photos that I talked about in the meeting, Cody. So this comes from my home city, this very stoic looking Victorian building, the Royal Ontario Museum. We're very British up there, you know. This huge building lies at the corner of a very main intersection, one side, and then on the other side, and this happened while I lived here. So I went home one time and I'm like, oh my God, look at what this creative, innovative situation did. This is the shard of glass, Cody. We call it a shard or a crystal, but they created this and put it on the other half of the street. So it's like, holy moly, I could not believe this. Totally modern architecture stuck to an old stodgy building. And this is what it looks like at night. Isn't that beautiful? So you never know what could happen when somebody creative comes along. So I just wanted to show that as an open door, out of the box idea. I'll put this on London's desk. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Kaminsky. Before you go on to the different events I did, if council wants to start an event or something, I'm not trying to hinder you from doing that. But what I don't like personally, just out of courtesy to me, is if a council member tries to create an event on their own, that passing off as a city event. That reflects not just myself, but the council and the city as a whole. I've tried my best to empower the council to go ahead and do whatever they want to do in respect to their positions and even outside of their positions, doing more necessarily than what's in the council handbook or the what RCWs grant you. I want you to succeed as a council. I want you to create your initiatives. I think a good example is the Pretty City Day. That wasn't something that I created or driven, but Councilmember Crossman and Roy, that was something that was important to them. They brought up the study session, got council support. I supported it, and we're moving forward to it. That isn't necessarily a council member, function. That's more of an operational thing, which falls more under the branch of the executives. So I want you to do those things to make our city great, pretty, and all that stuff. But I would love to just be kept not in the dark on if you want to do something big like that. And we can have some private conversations too. If you want to do something, I want to help you succeed. Let's do it. Just involve me a little bit with it, and if we can get you doing whatever you think that it's appropriate for the city and what's going to be best for the city. So try to work with you as much as I can. Other than that, attend a few different committees. Sometimes you'll see me in one of your committees, just watching, and I've done that a couple, but I am just trying to get more information on what you're doing, what the city, not what you're doing, but what the committee's doing, and it's helpful for me. I usually don't participate in those, but it's good for me to just to know what's going on, and yeah, so I enjoy those. The one other thing that I did want to highlight, though, what I did do is chat with the Nisqually tribe again. They've also just had their elections too, if you want to go look on their sites and all that. I'm sure they have their new council members up. But one thing I like to work with them is creating a Nisqually Day here for the city of Yelm. And we're very early in that process. And of course, we'll keep you apprised of how that goes down, and ask your suggestions. We'll probably bring it up in a study session, get input. They're discussing what day they would think was be most important for them. You know, I think we're a very tight-knit community. They have a lot of roots here in Yelm. I mean, we're on their land. So it's their neighbors. I think it's a good thing. So we'll be talking about more of that in the future. And other than that, though, I don't have anything else. So is there any good to the order? All right.
Adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All fair, say aye.
Aye.
Passes. Thank you very much, council.